Yo, what's going on guys? My name is Toxicity and welcome back to a Pokemon Generation 10 video. In the last video we did about Pokemon Generation 10, we went over some of the possible leaks and rumors out in the world. And in today's video, I'm going to be doubling down on some of the ideas I had that some of the legendary Pokemon could be based on the Greek gods and the starter Pokemon could be based on some of the creatures in the Greek mythology. So today we're going to be diving into some of the ideas that I have, and we're also going to be talking about some of the leaks that we've already spoken about in previous videos. So if you guys don't want any leaks or don't want anything spoiled for yourself, then definitely click away now. But if you are interested in some of these leaks and some of these rumors, keep watching. So in the last video that I did, I posted this photo and we discussed a little bit about some of these Greek gods and goddesses and how they could be related to some of the legendary Pokemon featuring in Pokemon Generation 10. So the most important ones that I think could definitely be some of the pseudo legendaries or the legendary Pokemon for Generation 10 could be Zeus, Ares, Hades, and Poseidon. Now, Zeus obviously being the more important one, he could be kind of like the Arceus type Generation 10 legendary Pokemon, and he could be a flying electric type, or could potentially be like a ground electric type, which would be quite interesting. If we move on to Ares, Ares could definitely be like a fire ground type or more of a steel type. He's more of the god of war, so more of an interesting legendary Pokemon that you could kind of come from this. And then we have Poseidon. Poseidon is pretty easy. He just has to be a water type Pokemon. I don't know if you could throw in maybe a steel typing or a dark typing or something like that, but if you have Hades, who is the god of the underworld, Hades could be a dark fire type or a ghost fire type, and that could be really important as well. There's some other Pokemon or Pokemon ideas that I have for some of these other gods here. So Aphrodite and Athena on here as well could be very important to the Pokemon history or Pokemon lore, and Athena could definitely have some sort of fairy typing, Aphrodite as well. And yeah, it's just really interesting the direction that you could go with some of these Greek gods or Greek demigods and that sort of stuff. And if you've watched Percy Jackson, you know there's a lot of Greek gods that you can go through and give typings to and turn them into Pokemon and have the Pokemon be inspired by each god individually. If the games were split into two and you had one overall third legendary Pokemon, you can definitely do Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. I think that would be really fun. You could have Zeus being the powerful electric type with a secondary typing. You can have Poseidon being the water type with another typing, and Hades being the dark ghost or fire type with that additional typing. It would be really fun to see those three kind of get turned into Pokemon. Not sure how you would go and how you'd represent them, but there's definitely a lot of Greek creatures that are in the mythology that you could definitely turn into more Pokemon designs. So with that being said, let's jump into the three mythology animals slash creatures that I think could definitely be the starter type Pokemon for the Pokemon Generation 10. So the grass type Pokemon I think could be a little bit of an interesting one. You could have like a Centaur or a Minotaur type Pokemon be the grass type starter. I think that kind of associates with nature very well. The water type Pokemon or water type starter could be a Siren. I know we have Intelligen from Generation 8, I think it is, or Generation 7. I'm lost with my generations at the moment. I'm having a mental blank, but I think having like a Siren or Mermaid style starter Pokemon for the water type would be kind of fun. And then you could have a Pegasus or a Griffin being the fire Pokemon. Now, those three starter Pokemon could be very, very fun and very interesting. There's so many options that you could definitely go through and choose from this sort of mythology timeline. You can also bring out about 100 different Pokemon models from the different creatures in Greek mythology. It's really interesting to see that they've gone with this sort of location with the Greek islands. And I showed this video or this photo last video where we show how big and wide the Greek islands really are. And you could have so many different hidden locations, hidden statues, hidden lore around this island map, and it could be really fun. With the speculation that Mega Pokemon are also going to be carrying over to this game, we could expect that some of these new Pokemon could have Megas, or we could see some of the older Pokemon get new forms or Megas in this game as well. I'm not sure how Pokemon Legends Z8 is going to tie into Generation 10, but with all this speculation, all these rumors, I'm definitely going to have to start diving into Reddit a little bit more, because posts like this that I showed in the last video about the starter Pokemon ideas are really fun, really cute, and it's really just awesome to see that the community gets so invested in leaks, rumors, and ideas for Pokemon games. So I'm possibly going to start moving on from what Reddit thinks about Pokemon Legends Z8 in the next few months, and we're going to start doing what Reddit thinks about Pokemon Generation 10. We're definitely going to start diving deeper into people's ideas, people's speculation, and all the rumors. So if you guys are hyped for that sort of stuff, then let me know down below. Comment what you think of Generation 10 leaks so far. But if you do want to find out more about Pokemon Legends ZA, I will still definitely be posting a lot about the Pokemon Legends ZA game. I've got a few other video ideas that I want to start posting shortly, so I need to get working on some of these things, and I'm definitely going to be streaming the game once it comes out. I'm very excited for when it does come out, but for now, my mind is just taken away by Pokemon Generation 10 leaks and rumors. So there you go, there are some of my ideas for Pokemon Generation 10. Let me know down below what you think and if you have any of your own. I am going to be doing a bunch of videos on both these games moving forward, so if you're hyped for that, then definitely subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.